In the heart of a bustling city lived a young girl named Elora. Unlike the other children her age, Elora had a rare condition that made her entire body feel incredibly sore. As if she were carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders, even a simple walk to school was an adventure filled with pain and exhaustion. As the years passed, Elora grew up with this chronic pain, learning to navigate the world with a heavy heart and body. Doctors were puzzled by her illness, and no medicine seemed to offer more than fleeting relief. Hope seemed to slip through her fingers like sand, leaving her feeling isolated and misunderstood. One day, Elora's parents, driven by their unconditional love for their daughter and desperation to alleviate her suffering, decided to seek help from a renowned specialist hundreds of miles away. The journey was long and arduous, filled with bumps on the road that amplified the pain in Elora's bones. But the glimmer of hope offered by the specialist kept them going. Upon arrival, the specialist performed a series of tests and examined Elora. His brow furrowed with concentration. Days turned into weeks, and finally, he had a diagnosis: osteogenesis, a genetic disorder that affects the body's connective tissues, resulting in fragile bones and intense bone pain. There was no cure, he said, only treatments to manage the symptoms. Elora's parents, though disappointed, were grateful for the answers. They returned home with a prescription for Elora, hoping it would bring some relief to their daughter's pain. But the medication had little effect. Elora's pain persisted, and the thought of living a life overshadowed by pain was heartbreaking. Yet, Elora was not one to surrender. She refused to let her condition define her. With the support of her loving parents, she began physical therapy, slowly learning to walk with the aid of crutches. Each step was a victory over pain and despair. Years passed, and Elora blossomed into a remarkable young woman. She participated in swimming and horseback riding therapy, which strengthened her muscles and brought joy to her heart. Though she still experienced pain, she had found ways to manage it, and her spirit remained unbroken. Then came the day that changed everything. Elora's parents stumbled upon a clinical trial for a new gene therapy being conducted in a different country. It was a long shot, but they reached out to the lead researcher, Professor Hayes, who agreed to evaluate Elora's case. After reviewing Elora's medical history and conducting several tests, Professor Hayes offered Elora the chance of a lifetime. She could participate in the clinical trial and receive the experimental gene therapy. It was risky, but it could also be the answer to Elora's prayers. Elora and her parents made the decision to go forward with the treatment. The gene therapy was administered, and weeks turned into months. Slowly but surely, something remarkable happened. The pain in Elora's bones began to subside. The fractured bones started to heal, and she felt a new sense of hope blooming within her. As time passed, the pain lessened, the fractures healed, and Elora's spirits soared. The gene therapy had been a success. Overjoyed, Elora and her parents contacted Professor Hayes, sharing the incredible news. Professor Hayes was elated. This was the breakthrough they had been hoping for, and he wasted no time in informing the medical community about the positive results. The story of Elora's recovery spread far and wide, bringing hope to countless other patients with osteogenesis imperfecta. What had seemed like a hopeless case became a beacon of possibility. Elora's strength and determination, coupled with the medical advancements, showed the world that even in the darkest of times, hope could bloom. Today, Elora lives her life to the fullest, embracing every moment with gratitude. The pain may still linger at times, but it no longer controls her, and whenever she feels a twinge of despair, she remembers the countless prayers that lifted her up, the specialists who fought for her, and the unwavering love of her parents. She is living proof that with courage, hope, and the pursuit of medical excellence, even the most daunting challenges can be overcome.